Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who never gets invited to any house parties. I'm Rob's sister, Nina. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our recap here of episode 4, a fun one to talk about. And I'm so excited to have here with us from Survivor 45 and from the Social Game Podcast. Please welcome Kellie Nalbandian. Kellie, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Rob. I am so happy to be here. Every time I come on RHAP, I get a killer episode.
We get a banger. Yes. Okay.
We get a banger.
And Kellie, for a long time, I struggled with pronouncing your last name, but now I can say it. Now I love to say it. Nalbandian.
Oh, yeah? You did a great job. I didn't even congratulate you there, but thank you for finally getting it. You know, after hiring me and paying me to do a podcast, now it's worth your time to really know how to say
It's fun to say.
It's very phonetic, everybody. It's not that scary.
Some people credit you as bringing back spicy exits from Survivor. I know you're such a big Thomas fan, but are you worried that Thomas may have undone some of your work as he stood up and said, give me a hug, come on?
I know. I was like, is Thomas going to make Give Me a Hug t-shirts? It's like another angle.
I didn't see any merch yet from Thomas.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
But what do you think about that?
I immediately thought about it because what's so funny is I feel like Thomas was like the quote unquote villain, right, during the game. And then he's leaving and he's like the hero. And I feel like mine was the reverse. Like I'm like getting more of a hero style at it. And then on the out, I'm like, screw you guys. But yeah, I mean, I did kind of expect Thomas to have a salty exit, but it was very classy of him. Good for him. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I feel like Thomas will get around too. Maybe he can redeem himself there.
Yeah, Thomas gave me a lot of different things that he was giving notes on. It was a fun exit interview this morning. Could you give Thomas any notes on his exit? Like, what about if he says like, hey, give me a hug, you sons of beep?
I would support that way more.
Yeah.
I think if you don't get bleeped in your exit, then you did something wrong, honestly, Thomas. Yeah. I don't have a lot of
give me a hug,
the rest of his game.
Yeah.
Honestly, Rob, keep that in the back pocket for yourself.
Yeah. That's the problem, though, with being blindsided on Survivor. I think that anything that you come up with that's going to be good to say is going to be bad because you thought of what to say.
If you come up with it it's not going to be good. Like, I don't remember saying, what the hell, guys? I have no recollection of it. That's why it was good.
Hey, want to see my De Niro face?
Yeah. I mean, peace, love, and respect, but that was my least favorite thing ever. So, I mean, anyone with a preconceived thing is not going to. So, if that's how Thomas felt in the moment. Hey,
you want to see my De Niro face, you?
Okay. That only is like slightly above because of the cursing. I like swaps. There's like a quote.
Did you vote for a swap in Survivor 50, Kellie?
I didn't vote yet.
Okay. Are you going to vote for a swap?
I think for Survivor 50, I'm gonna, because I want to see like the max meshing of people from whatever ends up being there. Like,
I think that's the correct answer.
I think that'll be fun. And I like a swap. I like in general, like I was convinced when we were going out there that we were going to have a swap. I was hoping it was going to be a 3-2.
You have like,
I had spidey senses. I don't know. It had been a while and I was just like, and then Lulu kept losing. It seemed like, although I think the swap was pre-planned, I've seen some people be like, they only swap because of the disaster tribe, but I don't know about that. What do you think? Do you think that they just do it?
It's an interesting question, and I haven't gotten an official answer about this, so I don't want to speculate too much. I feel like that Jeff in the past has always said, hey, we plan everything out. I think they even say like in Palau, we were never gonna merge. We were always gonna just let it go down until one tribe so they've really stuck to that everything is always planned out ahead of time. But I listen to the On Fire podcast. I listen to it every week to hear what Jeff has to say about things. And, you know, he was talking about like in terms of like how they look at the game rules. And we're always having these conversations about, are we going to do this? Are we going to swap? Are we going to like, and the fact that he's saying like, are we going to swap? You know, makes me feel like that he's talking about it like that's like a lever they could pull. I don't know why they couldn't just have in our seasons like, hey, if things really go haywire, nobody wants to, we can't run our challenges with, one tribe has 2 people
That's
on
what
it.
that's the only thing I'm thinking. I'm like, are they pre-planning for a swap because the challenges are pre-planned, presumably, and like some of them you can't run with 2 or 3 people. So they're like, we have to build a swap in because in the case that someone keeps losing, which seems to be a recurring theme, then there's just not going to be enough people to run this challenge. And then they just plan and say, all right, worst case scenario, could we run these with 3? Then we don't have to swap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm skeptical.
For Kyle and Camilla, this was so fun and so impressive. And I don't think that any 2 players have ever been able to pull this off. I mean, they had not seen Survivor 47, and in Operation Italy, I saw people on the
a lot of comparisons
calling it Operation Guyana.
Oh, I love that. I know that the name like actually makes sense with them. Yeah, I don't want to have a controversial take. I think I like this almost even more. Both were great.
This is better than Operation Italy.
Uh-oh. Andy lives near me, so I can't have this take.
Clip this. Okay.
Don't clip this.
Kelly, tell me why you think that Operation Guyana is better than Operation Italy.
I think they're okay. I think they're a little different, and let me give you my 2 cents here. Like Operation Italy, brilliant. By the time it's happening, I feel like we know all the players super well. We know that these 3 are like really strategic. We know they're capable of it's like completely lit. I don't want to take away from how amazing it is. They totally smash it. But this right here to me is like very pure Survivor. The people don't know each other that well yet. It's only been a few days. They're put in this like brand new tribe. They don't know everybody. I don't know. I feel like that it's very like raw skill based to me in terms of like, obviously there's advantages and things at play for sure. And I'm not going to like, there's some luck and some effort in getting that done. But I think it's kind of fun to see. It's like this authentic gamer muscle kind of being flexed here by them, both in the acting and the lead up. Like it was just chef's kiss all the way through.
Respectfully, I would like to disagree. I would like to say that I think that Operation Italy is actually the thing that you're describing of people just getting by with gumption and gameplay over actual overpowered advantage, not even overpowered advantages, that Kyle and Camilla actually got through this situation. Now, look, that not to take anything away from the amazing acting performances from them both, especially Camilla, but they also had an idol and an extra vote at their disposal. So the only way that this could have been foiled was had Thomas played his steal a vote. That was the only thing that could have stopped them. And so they successfully got Thomas to not play his steal a vote. But in a world where Thomas doesn't have the steal a vote, they actually could just show up there like, hey, we got an idol and an extra vote. Guess what? One of you 3 is going home. Who's coming with us? Like they could have basically done like the 3 amigos to them whereas Operation Italy, that Andy and Genevieve and Sam actually were in the minority. They actually didn't have the numbers.
I will say the thing I love the most about Operation Italy is like lying about having idols and stuff. I think it's so great when people use an advantage topic but not the advantage itself. I love that. That's manipulating the game, and that is my favorite part of Operation. I think it's brilliant.
In the words of Val Collins, they had nothing. They got them to split the vote.
That's very impressive.
They had a fake idol, so they got.
Do you think like the payoff though of what happens, right? Like obviously great move for all 3 of them, but they don't end up winning.
They don't end up winning.
We got to see what happens.
Just as a move, yeah.
This was a strict move, but does that add to the lore of the move, whether or not it gets you to the end or not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to poo-poo.
This could also put
happened.
a huge target on Kyle and Camilla, so I don't know.
Kyle and Camilla played their hand perfectly. I guess, and I'm not a big poker person, but like they had like a pair of aces that they played perfectly, as opposed to Operation Italy. They had like a 2 and a jack, and they were able to get through it.
Okay, fair, Rob. You can win this argument. But I just meant like, we don't know them as well, and they don't know each other as well. And I think there's a lot of great social.
What do you mean they don't know each other as well? They have the same favorite movie?
Well, Kyle and
Holes
Camilla,
the
but I meant
Departed.
yeah, I meant the whole tribe.
Mhm.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, the
I'm
Holes
very well
tribe.
aware.
Yes.
Kyle and Camilla, the
Yeah.
whole tribe.
Yeah.
That's better than the name Vula, honestly, which is
Mhm.
too adjacent to other things.
Yeah. No good.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah.
I name tribes, so listen, call me up, Jeff. I
You
named the
name
merge tribe.
you do this for other tribes too?
No, well, I named my merge tribe, is what I'm saying.
Oh, what did you name the merge tribe?
You don't remember?
I don't.
Trivia question.
I'm very bad. Famously, I hate when they
Wow.
just combine the names, but also unless the name is like America, like I feel like that
Well,
they're
I
all
would
pretty
never want to
nondescript.
name it that or be remembered for that. No,
What
my
was your
tribe,
merge tribe name?
I'm very proud of my. I think
What is
it's that's Dakuwaka. It's a Fijian shark god. It's like their
Okay.
most important god.
I thought that's what Fozzie Bear says.
I don't know who that is.
Waka Waka.
Okay, that feels. Listen, that's an important god, Rob. Okay, don't disrespect the
Wait,
shark
tell me about
god.
the Fijian god.
Okay, so I had gone, I was a season 43 alternate, and they asked me when I was there preseason, what would you name the merge tribe? And I had nothing. I'd said some stupid thing, and I was like, I am not getting caught looking dumb with Dalton Ross again. So I came prepared to season 45. And so I was looking up, like, I don't know, I just thought it would be cool. I was looking up like mythology, Fijian mythology, and I came across this shark god who's like their most important god. He's like a total badass. He protects the fishermen, whatever. And I was like, Dakuwaka is a dope name. It's pretty cool. But I was only knowing it so I didn't look stupid in pregame press. I wasn't like, I'm going to name the merge tribe. But no one was really throwing anything out there. And so I threw it out there and it stuck.
Kelly, as an alternate, do you feel like that you really aced your pregame press for Survivor 45, that you had like the dry run?
You know what? I feel like I could have done better. In terms of certain things, but
you must have done something right, because a lot of people, a lot of people like really were very high on you from the jump.
I think it helps because I knew, of course it helps. I mean, I also, though, before season 43, I watched when I was in the hotel room before we go, I'm like watching the preseason interviews, preparing with what I would say. I just didn't prepare this merge tribe one. I think it didn't come up during the previous one. So I watched like everyone's and was preparing, but that's who I am. I'm like a neurotic preparer over planner. A lot of people aren't like that. So I would suggest doing that. It's also kind of a fun exercise just to get you like, a lot of the questions make you think about your strategy and stuff. So I think it's a good pregame thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you watch the preseason coverage now, or you just go in raw dog?
You know what? I watch it here and there. I like to see if anyone says anything really funny or anything about me, which was lacking this season.
I mean, that's everybody, all the survivors do that.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wanted to talk about Charlie this time. Charlie's the star of the season 48 pregame press.
Yes. Oh, good for Charlie.
Good for Charlie.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, they just watched his season.
That's true. I know. And Kyle just dunked on season 46.
I don't think anybody's talked about me since Drew Basile, and I think it was like Cochran was before that.
Oh, okay. That's why you always have Drew on the podcast, because
I love Drew. I love Drew on the podcast. You know, he has Drew is great. One of my favorites to have on the podcast.
I know. I mean, he's got a big brain. Talk about big brain.
Kelly, I have so many favorites from the new era. Like I've really, nobody's benefited more from the new era than me. I don't want, no, that's arbitrary and reductive. But there's so many smart young people that have come through, and present company included, who are so great at talking about the game. You know, some people say like, hey, like, where are all the people that aren't the super fans? But you know what? These are the best podcast guests. Okay, keep them coming, Survivor.
I mean, I wasn't a super fan, but I think I became one throughout the process.
Yeah, you were a over preparer. You were somebody who, yeah.
But you know what? That's also the nature, I think, of being an alternate. At least I think you can ask some other people. You know, you can ask Shaheen and Rachel what they think about that. But I think you just have so much time to like obsess.
And it's David's Angels there together, and we saw that David and Eva have picked things up together, and now Eva has a new buddy in David. Now I'm wondering that could Eva be the glue that ends up connecting David to the guys from Loggy?
The guys from Loggy.
The guys from old Loggy, Joe and Shaheen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is then David has to become a middle-esque player. which I don't know if I don't know him. All he talks about is milk. So it's hard for me to know, like, is he this kind of like, is he willing to be Sharky? Is he willing to
Where
like
do you
kind of
stand
double
on
cross?
milk?
I mean, I don't really like. I think drinking a lot of milk is weird. I'm sorry, David. I like him.
He
Nice
hates
guy.
water, Kelly. Now, as a nurse, what's your reaction to that?
I mean, that's not healthy, David. I know that he really believes in the power of chocolate milk, but like, no, I would not say that's the most healthy thing.
He's very lactose tolerant.
Yeah, I think half the country could not tolerate David's diet. We would have, you know, wreckage in the public bathrooms if everybody was drinking that much milk. So, you know, my official nurse stance.
What did he say? Does he drink a gallon of milk a day?
Also,
or a half gallon?
You know what? He's totally the guy, again, David lovingly, with a whole jug, and he like carries it around with him, like the actual jug from the store, which I said on the Social Game podcast is a bit of an ick for me.
Which thing? Of people that carry the jug of water or chocolate milk?
A jug of water, but specifically like the plastic jug straight from the grocery store. Like if you put it in your big ass Stanley, fine. Everyone's got a big cup these days. I'm not going to.
Well, the milk needs to stay refrigerated.
Yeah, that is. But I don't know. He's talking about it like he's slinging it back like so quickly. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe he's got a special sleeve for his milk gallon. You know.
Yeah, I would like
merch
to imagine
opportunity
that David has like a big Stanley cup that he does, keeps it cold, and he keeps his chocolate milk ready to go.
You know what? I'm going to gift David. Maybe I shouldn't. It would be funny if we got him a custom Stanley. That just
what should it say on it?
Okay. Got milk feels basic. I feel like we need a nod to the 4 nipples. Or, new idea, he could open up a bar called the 4 Nipples and only serve different types of milk.
A milk bar. Now, a milk bar is a place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he has to call it something else.
He has to call it something else. Okay. I mean, but see, I'm all for, like, I love the idea of business ideas for David because I think that it helps solve the problem of, like, the finance issue.
He broke my heart. Poor guy. He's like, my girlfriend's going to break up. I don't know.
I think his girlfriend did break up with him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Listen.
It sounds like an ex-girlfriend.
Ladies, if you're out there and you love milk, you know you're a guy. I love how he was like, he came into this and I feel like he was like, I am a feminist icon. He was like, I love women and I'm going to let everybody know it. And I was like, you know what, David? Me too.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. Now, Kelly, your fiance didn't say to you, Kelly, if you don't win the $1 million, this relationship is over, correct?
Correct. She never said that. She literally, knowing me and confirmed by how I what the hell guys did, was literally just like waiting for the day that she knew I made the jury because she was like, I'm concerned about you if you go home early because I don't think I would handle it well. Yeah. And so she was just so relieved that I made it like midway that money didn't even matter. She was just so excited.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that Bianca is in such an interesting dilemma and predicament here in this tribe that she has no vote. She's there with 2 pairs. One of the pairs, the pair that she has engaged with, happens to be a dysfunctional pair. And so how do you think that Bianca should handle this? And then how do you think it will go?
So this is why it's like, oh, such a bummer she lost her vote. Because if she didn't, like, she would be in control of this group easily. And then
but can I just make, I know there's so much, like, this is going to be hot take territory, Kelly. And I know there's so much discourse about, like, stop taking away the people's votes. But, like, isn't this more interesting now? Like, isn't this such a predicament?
You're not going to get me to agree to lost votes. It's never going to happen. I got burned by them. Too many people get burned by them. Survivor is about voting. I don't like it.
Because Bianca, it would be interesting. Bianca
would do.
She would have so much power if she had her vote. But she has to. I think this is imminently more interesting that she doesn't have her vote.
Sure, fine. It's slightly more interesting. I'm not happy about it.
If you are like me and you are like, okay, well, I'm here to see the chaos unfold.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I feel like now when I like watch Survivor, it's like a little different for me because I'm just like the veil has lifted a slight bit. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you're removed a while, Rob. I don't know. I feel sad. Like I just feel sad. Like I just like think about myself in these people's shoes. Sometimes I'm just like, this sucks if you lose your vote, or this sucks if you don't. And that pisses me off because like you come on Survivor to like utilize your social capital and your strategy. And I think this is the type of player Bianca is. But if she can successfully do this with no vote, it's even more impressive. So maybe it's an opportunity. That's how I would spin it to Jeff. Is it's an opportunity to do something even greater than what's been done before.
Should Jeff,
I don't know,
have gloves to handle some of these idols and advantages that have been like in all sorts of different like crevices and parts of people's like disgusting bodies for 20 days?
Yeah, you know
as
what?
As a nurse, as a, you know, practicing healthcare professional.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there any danger to Jeff of like, this has been like in somebody's crack for 18 days and now he's handling it at tribal council?
If it's been in someone's crack, yes, maybe some danger because you don't want to touch your eye, you know.
Yeah, do you think that Jeff should have like some Purell at his station?
Maybe some Purell. I don't think he needs gloves, but like the only risk would be transferring bacteria from the hands.
What about tongs? Should Jeff like place the idol like into my tongs and then he'll like hold it up and look at it? Okay, this is good.
Fun. You know how like remember when Sabaya burned her idol? He could just like sanitize all the idols had to be flame resistant, and then you sanitize them by burning them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Listen, I think
he would lose his
they're in Fiji
status
because it's the bacteria is not very risky.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Why? Yeah, I obviously love. Dr. Joe is like my hero. I think he's so cool. So whenever I would meet with him in the medical tent, I would take time to ask him questions because I was not having my medical problems as we established. And he did say like this is like a much safer bacterial situation than, for example, like
Co-Wrong.
Micronesia has a real Co-Wrong was the heat and bacteria, but Micronesia has like all these really aggressive bacteria. So like James's injury, it's very easy to have like a small cut get really infected, which is such an unfortunate way to go out.
Yeah.
Exactly. More than one person. Like that's something's going on there. So this is like, you know, Jeff probably, unless Jeff is like handling the idol and then fingers right in the mouth, he's probably okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Kellie, I'd love to hear about, I know you recently visited the Mohegan Sun, that there was a big Survivor casting call. I've never been to one thing like that. What goes on at a Survivor casting call?
Okay, it was very fun. I admittedly exhausting. I'm not going to lie. We got there and the line was huge. This thing started at 2:00. It's basically set up like there's like a stage with a bunch of little camera nooks. And everyone can like sign in. You get 1 minute, I think, basically strictly to go up there, talk.
What happens after a minute? Camera turns off?
Camera turns off and says, good luck. See you later. I mean, from what I was gathering, they were being pretty like with it. I mean, it was a lot of people. There were people who got there at 2:00, which was the start of the event, who did not make it into audition. This was the biggest turnout they've ever had. So hopefully they'll do more. There's clearly a demand. But I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Kellie, so what's your role in this? So you're at the casting call. Everybody's there. Are you like hyping people up? Are you giving them advice?
Yes. So we did like when we got there, we did a little advice speech, both about the game and getting on the show. And then we kind of just worked the line. Me, Brandon, and Jake kind of split up, and we would just walk through and chat with people, give them advice, both on in-person stuff and their videos. If they were also maybe wanting to do videos, took some pics. There was a lot of fans in line with cool stuff. There's one girl who made like a custom, like the lock pull box that was like extremely good.
Yeah.
So a lot of funny signs, you know.
Now, did you tell anybody at the casting call that they literally could have just stayed home and just done the same thing with their phone and just uploaded it on the CBS website?
When people started to get turned away, I was like, well, you know, it's probably better to do the video. Yeah. Because you get 3 minutes.
I mean, do you know what the track record is of people who go to like open calls versus that? Because I feel like and maybe they haven't had them too much with like the COVID era. And so I don't know
think
too many
Mohegan
people.
hasn't done it since 2022.
Okay. But I don't know too many people, certainly in the new era, who have come through casting calls. Do you?
I did ask my resident, like, you know, on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, phone a friend, Brandon Donlin, this question before we went.
Yeah.
And he said, I think someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I think Cassidy was initially discovered at an event.
Okay.
I think she did go through different rounds. Denise, the lunch lady.
Lunch lady Denise. Yeah.
Denise and Sebastian, I think.
Seabass.
Which I'm also Seabass. That
Yeah.
was the 3 that Brandon was thinking.
Okay.
What I would tell people is, like, if you are like bad on camera and you think you just pop in person, then maybe this is like, or like you don't want to do like a script,
right,
and it's awkward to talk to somebody, then maybe this is the
I know from back in the
you.
day there were more people, like Colleen Haskell like went to like an open call when nobody knew what Survivor was and things like that. So I don't know how much, if there's like a better track record, or you're more likely to get on the show if you go to one of these things.
Yeah, I feel like statistically there's probably more people applying online, but I would think, for me, I was like, 1 minute is so short to like get across everything you want to say. I feel like the person who gets cast from these casting calls is someone who's like dynamite, lightning in a bottle, like a Q or Emily, like someone who just, if they just stood there and talked about their experience that day at Mohegan Sun for a minute, you'd be like, sign me up. And there were people in line that I was like, what you just said to me was literally hilarious, because they were just talking with me about their experience. I was like, just do that. Don't even like, just riff. So maybe, I'm hoping maybe, you know, someone good came from that. I had a few people I thought were good. Okay, I
had a great interaction with Mike Turner when we went to the Survivor premiere party. So there was like this like little room where there was like a green room, and there was there was so many fun interactions.
We're talking about the screener?
Yeah, no, when we went to the premiere. Yeah. And so there was like this little like they called it, like, it was like a green room where all the survivors had their jacket. And thank God nobody had COVID that day, or it would have taken down the whole Survivor community.
That would have been
because we were in this very tiny room, but there was probably at points like 25 different survivors in this tiny room.
That was cool.
And I was back there, and it was like nothing. Like I was like dying of thirst. We're drinking like lukewarm Diet Cokes in this little tiny room, and I'm back there, and I see Mike Turner, and he's always talking to me about the Mets. Kelly, are you a baseball person at all?
I'm not a huge baseball person.
Okay,
but I am a Mets fan.
Oh, okay. Well,
LGM,
just like
baby.
Mike Turner, and Mike Turner is like like I'm a Mets fan. Mike Turner is really a Mets fan. He's going to like every single game, and whenever I see him, he's always like, "Did you see what happened today?" And he was trying to. He saw me, and he was like mid conversation with Jam Jam, and trying to be like a nice guy. He's trying to like as he wasn't talking to me about the Mets, but he wants to include Jam Jam in the conversation. Jam Jam could not be less interested in the free agent maneuverings of the Mets. But Mike Turner is trying so hard to keep Jam Jam engaged in the conversation. And Jam Jam is just like totally like trying to be polite, but could not care less. And Mike Turner's like, yeah, but they got Soto, and now they're bringing Alonso back. It's happening. They got all the, like, you don't understand, Jam Jam. And he's like, oh,
this is the greatness of Mike Turner, though. He can talk about something you hate, and you still think it's hilarious. He's great.
And it was just I was just like dying of like just watching Jam Jam having to like act like, oh wow, you know, it's just,
I love this. I love the Mets.
It was so fun. I had there was this moment where Tony came through, and Tony was talking about his time on the Traders.
That was just great. I was there for that. That was really funny. He was cracking up.
Were you there when he was like holding court, and then he was like meeting some of the people from the new era, and of course he met our beloved friend Brandon Donlin. And
great
then Brandon introduced himself to Tony, and Tony said, "Oh, okay, you're from the new era. Okay. Oh, did you kill it? Did you kill it?" He said to Brandon Donlin, and yeah,
Brandon said something very funny back.
Yeah,
I wish I
sort
knew
of
what it was.
sheepishly like, and he said, "Well, I was like you, you know, we share."
Oh yes, he made us
second out.
Place joke. Yes,
and he's like, okay, good. He's like, you know, playing the long game. Kelly, you posted recently on Blue Sky that you got recognized in Central Park walking around in the top you wore in your Survivor cast photo, and you feel mortified because the person recognized the shirt.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing moment.
Why? Why was it embarrassing? Because it's like, oh, is this the only shirt you have?
It's like, first of all, they probably only seen that photo of me, and here I am again.
It was like the episode of Seinfeld where the woman Jerry was dating always wore the same outfit.
I haven't seen a lot of Seinfeld.
That's okay.
Yeah,
but some of the listeners did.
And I just felt it was like, oh, does it look like I just like can't let go? Like I just love my I hate my cast photo. I literally hate it. But that's a good workout top. Okay. And I was like on like a walk.
But the person clocked you and they said, hey, Kelly, are you wearing the same shirt as in your cast photo? Or
that's
you
the same shirt. No. They said they just recognized me. And
now first off, that person is probably listening to this podcast.
That's a fair assessment.
That's fair. So shout out to this person.
She was very nice. I also talked about this top on Social Game too, not to shout it out again, but Michelle, or actually no, it might have been the live we did for you guys. Michelle recognized it, and apparently Lauren O'Connell also wore that actually in game. It's a Free People workout top.
Yeah. Okay.
Highly recommend, but now I'm like afraid to wear it.
But you don't like your cast photo?
I hate my cast photo.
Did you like your cast photo better from 43?
I never saw it.
Did you like the outfit you were wearing better that time?
I was wearing a green dress. But I was really emosh at the photo shoot because that was when everyone started to figure out that I was the alternate. So I wasn't in the best mood. So I'm sure my facial expression wasn't great.
As the alternate,
current cast photo. Sorry, say it again.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt. But as the alternate, do they tell you what clothes color to bring, or are you bringing multiple colors?
So the photo shoot, you can basically do, you have to approve it. You do whatever you want. But yeah, so you have to prepare for all three tribes. So I had wardrobe prepared in all colors. My pants were like more versatile. Like they were like just like a tan. I like a tan cargo type pant thing that were joggers. And then I had these little like safari-esque shorts. And then I would just swap the top was the plan. My blue shirt that I ended up wearing was my blue tribe shirt. Like they were really committed to me being in like tees like this, like ringer tees. I wore this Los Angeles shirt for for Thomas and his California.
For the California girls. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what were you saying about your cast photo?
Okay. And the problem with my cast photo was I went first and it was so windy and my hair is blowing back. So I just don't like how I look I feel like I look better with my hair like in front of my face. And
you want like a big fan blowing your hair when you do a photo shoot.
I didn't like it. I don't know. I knew I wasn't going to like it. It was a bummer.
Did Bryce like it?
I forget. I think I had my thumb out. I remember I texted him or I DM'd him when I got back and I was like, listen, I can see my thumb. Like I was thinking about it. And the photographer was telling me to put my thumb here and I didn't want to do it, but I did it. So just don't judge me. He appreciated it.
And what did the fans say? Are you wearing the same shirt that you wore in your cast photo?
Yeah. They said, oh, this is the same shirt. I was like, yeah. How do you know that? And I said, this is really embarrassing. I think was the first thing I said. And they were like, no, it's not. I was like, but it's a good workout shirt. I don't want to waste it. And that was the extent of the interaction.
But you were like, but I don't wear it every day.
I don't even know if I said, I hope I said. And then I was just like, this is a mortifying experience.
Do you think that person was just like, hey, I just ran into Kellie Nalbandian. Can you believe she's wearing the same shirt she wore on Survivor?
What a loser. Oh, God.
Kelly, can I ask you a question about your wedding prep?
Yes, please.
Okay. Does Gabby, your fiance, go with you to go to the bridal shop to buy the gown? Or is there a superstition of, hey, you can't see your bride in the wedding dress before the wedding?
Well, that's the traditional thing, right? And what I love about being in a queer relationship is you can kind of define the rules for yourself if you want.
Yeah.
We did want to be surprised by each other. So we have not seen it. I will say, since we're both wearing white dresses, there was a vague discussion of vibes so that we're not getting the same dress or too similar. And one of my
Did you go to the same store? Did you get a discount for 2 for 1?
No, I mean.
Oh, Kelly, you got to negotiate that.
I haven't bought my dress yet. Okay. I'm like, I'm ready to say yes, but I like to sample it around a little bit. So I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm going to do it next week, but you're right. I should have done that. But yeah,
Yeah.
we were like, make sure we're not going to get the same dress. Like,
You can't
or
wait.
seem too similar. I don't want to be like, look like twins. Ugh,
Yeah.
no.
But I think that the for the bridal shop, I mean, that's you gotta say you got a lot of leverage there. Of like, hey, you're getting 2 dresses here on this transaction
For one wedding.
For
we
one
weren't there
wedding.
together. We were there different days.
Can I at least like get like buy one get 50% off the other?
Yeah, I went to Kleinfeld's, which is like huge. So I don't feel like they don't need they're not motivated to give me a discount. They don't need me. You know what I mean?
You're an influencer.
Yeah, you know what? I've swung that around a little bit for the wedding, and it's gotten me a few good things. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But this was not one of them. So
okay, all right.
I'll try. You know what? Maybe where I'm going to Bri, I feel like I don't like saying that and trying to get any sort of. I feel like such a douche. So I can't.
That's why
really
you need
it.
a hype person.
Okay, who do you think I should bring?
Well, maybe it could be. Would Gabby do it? Say like, hey, my fiance is an influencer.
That's who's done it. She's done that for like
Mm-hmm.
we got a little discount on our photo booth, stuff like that. That was from her because I can't. But
Mm-hmm.
she's not coming with me to the bridal shop.
That's true. Brandon Donlin can't do that.
You know what? If any straight man is going to make it into a bridal shop purchasing event, it's going to be Brandon.
I feel like that's not his skill set.
No, but supporting, he's like the ultimate ally, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. I have a PSA for everybody. It's so important that all of us take time to vote in our elections here. Survivor 50 is in the hands of the fans. Please make sure that everybody goes out and make sure their vote is heard and counted for Survivor 50. It's in your hands, the fans, and just make sure that we're going out there and doing our duty as great citizens of Survivor Nation. Okay? Sorry, don't mean to get on my soapbox, but just important.
Hands of the fans, making plans.
Kelly, where can people keep up with you?
So, Instagram, probably the best place. Kellie Nalbandian. I'm Kellie Nalbandian on TikTok, Instagram, Kellie Nalb on X. Don't go to my Blue Sky because it's no longer my safe space. You can find me.
Is that where people go to post their secrets, is on Blue Sky?
I don't know. I started that May because I was like, it's only like 2,000.
That's where people go to journal and like post things.
It was like, when like Facebook statuses used to be like you just write anything when you were like 15.
Post my private thoughts on Blue Sky.
Yeah, every single. It's like it's just more less pressure. Yeah. But now it's been ruined.
Sorry, me to blow up your spot. Go to watchrhap.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.